Thanks so much. It's exciting to be here. I have to be honest with you that not all of me is here yet because I just landed, literally just landed, ran to the hotel and came straight here. So I think you probably know that feeling. Where you're like, I'm here, but I'm waiting for the rest of me to catch up. So I'm sure tomorrow I'll have great memories of today. But still, let's see what kind of the opportunity to be able to learn Torah with you, to learn Torah in Yerushalayim with you is too good to pass up. It doesn't matter how tired we are. So let's see if we can accomplish something together. Yaakov Avinu gets into a fight with a malach. The pasuk tells us that they were Vayei ish imay. Ish, Chazal tell us, is a malach. Yaakov Avinu fought with the malach of Esav, and they fought ad alois hashachar the entire night. And Chazal tell us that while they were fighting, listen to these words, He'elu avak, they raised dust ad kisei hakavod, until the kisei hakavod. So the dust, they were fighting. You know, when people are fighting in a dusty place, when people are fighting in a dusty place, so that you start seeing the cloud of dust around them, right? So helu avak, the dust went up till the kisei hakavod. Now, you know that there's no geographic location for the kisei hakavod, right? You know it's a spiritual thing, right? Can you tell me what it means? And also, I think we would assume that if you're fighting with an angel, that probably it's not like twisting and turning on the ground and turning up dust. So what is going on here? What are Chazal telling us that the dust from their Vayei Avek is a lashon of avak, is a lashon of dust? What's the dirt, the dust that was churned up till the kisei hakavod? What was that? Now, this is not the first time that Yaakov Avinu interacted with malachim. In last week's parasha, Yaakov Avinu interacted with malachim as well. And I'm afraid that you were not told the whole story when you were in elementary school. Okay, I'm afraid that you came home from school with maybe a fluffy cloud with a ladder under it, and maybe some rocks under it that turned into one rock. And you learned about the malachim going up and down the ladder, but I'm afraid that there are parts of the story that you're not aware of, like that those malachim wanted to kill Yaakov. They didn't tell you that in kindergarten. The Gemara says that the malachim, the Gemara in Chulin, tells us that the malachim went up and they saw the kisei hakavod, the heavenly throne. And they saw that engraved on the kisei hakavod is an image of Yaakov Avinu. Tzurasei chakuka, the kisei hakavod. And they went back down the ladder and they saw that this Yaakov that's engraved on the kisei hakavod is fast asleep on the floor. They went up, they went down, they went up, they went down. V'ratzu l'sakeino, so they wanted to kill him. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu appeared to protect him. V'hinei Hashem nitzav olav, Hashem came over him to protect him. Why did they want to kill him? And this is my favorite question. I ask this every Parshas Vayishlach to anyone that I can ask it to. So I'm going to ask it to you as well. You don't know about to ask? Why do malachim need a ladder? Seriously? It's a good question, right? You know how many wings a malach has? 6. 6 wings. Okay? That's what the Gemara says. There's different psukim. Maybe different malachim have different wings, but I think that we know that malachim know how to transport themselves up and down without a malach. Do you think when you learned about the 3 malachim that came to Avram Avinu, are you imagining that they came down there like, let's put the ladder away? Like, is that what you were imagining? What do malachim need a ladder for? What is this ladder? You know, the truth is that the malachim have an issue with us. From day one, from day -1, they had an issue with us. The malachim told Hashem not to create us. They said, Ma enosh kisiz kerenu, uven adam kisif kedenu. Why are you making this human being that has a physical body? You know, the malachim have like indigestion from the idea, if they would have a body, from the idea of someone who's going to serve God is going to have a body. That's the farthest thing from Hashem. We're completely spiritual beings. And not only a body, but he's going to have actually an inclination to do the wrong thing. And that's the person that you're creating to serve you. Hashem, what are you thinking? Ma enosh kisiz kerenu, uven adam kisif kedenu. Why are you doing this? But Hashem created us anyway. And the truth is that it didn't stop there. We know that later on in history, when Moshe Rabbeinu went up to Shemayim to get the Torah, the Malachim were right at it. The Malachim went to the Rabbeinu Shalom, and they said to Hashem, "Tana ha'idcha al hashamayim," like the pasuk says. You keep the Torah here, Hashem. The Torah, the way the Malachim said it, it's so precious, it's so pure, it's your treasure. You're going to give it to them? That's what Hashem said. That's what the Malachim said. So these Malachim, they have an issue with us. Are you picking that up? They have an issue with us. Let's understand what the issue is. What our response to them is. Malachim are perfect. Malachim are spiritual. Malachim serve Hashem 100% of the time. They're perfect. There are some midrashim about malachim not listening to Hashem. Those midrashim need to be understood, but the general approach of malach is a completely spiritual being. The word malach, he's a messenger. He's a messenger of Hashem. And therefore, malachim don't understand why it brings honor to Hashem. Malachim exist to bring honor to Hashem. All of us exist to bring honor to Hashem. Baruch Hu Elokeinu, Hashem created us to bring him honor. And Malachim cannot fathom how we human beings who struggle, who have our good days and our bad days, our ups and our downs, our pitfalls and our corrections, and we're doing tshuva, and that's honor to Hashem. The Malachim say, I have a much better idea of honor to Hashem. I'll tell you honor. Honor is that I'm 100% focused on God 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year without stopping. That's honor. You're going to give the Torah to these human beings? One day they're here, the next day they're not here, they had a hard day, they're tired, they're having a Yerida, they're having an Aliyah. Like, Hashem, seriously, this is where your covet is coming from? And this is in Kedusha. You know, you say this. By Musaf on Shabbos, you say this. You say, Misharsav Shayalim Zelozeh. The servants of Hashem, who are the servants of Hashem? The Malachim. The Malachim, they ask each other, Ayeh Mekayim Kavaydei. Where is the place of Hashem's honor? And the Sfarim explain that the Malachim, the Reb Tzadok, the Gedolei HaChasidus explain that the Malachim are saying, Hashem, this is a kavod? This is honor? Ayeh mekayim kavaydai. And then they just say, Baruch kavod, Hashem im kaimai. Okay, but, I guess wherever the honor is, they don't have an answer. But we have an answer. We know where Hashem's honor comes from. You know where it comes from? Continue Kedusha. Mim kaimai hu yifen berachamim. From that place of honor, Hashem looks with compassion. V'yachayin am hamiyachadim shemai. And he grants favor to the nation that says Shema. To us. We bring honor to Hashem. You know why? Because Malachim can't understand. They can't understand, and they'll never understand, that Hashem's plan for this world was never perfection. Hashem's plan for this world was the march towards growth. Was growing even if it's a challenge. Was accomplishing even when it's difficult. Was getting up even when I fell down. Is dusting myself off even if I'm all full of who knows what. That's where the honor comes from. Honor comes when I am struggling and I step forward towards Hashem. That's Hashem's honor. That's what brings kavod to Hashem. They say this mashal. Imagine, let's just for fun, okay? If I don't keep having fun, I'm going to fall asleep. So let's just have some fun, okay? You have a Hasidic Rebbe making a tish. How many of you have been to tishes? Nice. Yax? We have to change that. That's my son, Yax, by the way. He came with me. So, a Rebbe makes a tish. All his loyal Hasidim show up. Right? He wants his Hasidim there, his loyal Hasidim show up. Imagine you would have a Hasid that left the fold. He no longer, he no longer follows this Rebbe. He moved out. He moved away. Tragedy of tragedies. He became a Litvak. Okay? And then the Rebbe calls. He wants all his Hasidim to come to the Tish. And not only do his loyal Hasidim come, but that guy who left the Hasidus returns and sits by the Tish. Who's bringing the Rebbe more honor? The loyal Chassid that was expected to come and came, or the one that was so far away and came anyway? So certainly both of them listened to the Rebbe. But the one who was so far away and came anyway, bringing a certain honor to the Rebbe that the other ones can't bring. That's us. The Malachim are the ones who are the Hasidim always by the table. We are the ones who sometimes we're there by the Tish, sometimes we're not by the Tish, right? That's our lives. And we work hard to try to be by the Tish as much as we can. But sometimes we're there and sometimes we're not. The honor is when we're there. Malachim, you think you're so special? You think you're perfect? You have no reason not to be perfect. Hashem created you this way, and you're doing exactly what you were created to do. Wow. But me, I'm not as perfect as you. I have my bad days. I have my struggles. But when I show up, I'm showing up. I'm fighting through everything. I'm working on myself. I'm building my spiritual muscles. I'm bringing myself to the table. I am bringing honor to Hashem. What did Hashem tell Moshe when he was up there in Shamayim and the Malachim wanted to kill him because he came up to take the Torah? What did Hashem tell Moshe? Hashem told Moshe, I want you to answer them. So Moshe said, I should answer them? They'll kill me. Which is a reasonable fear. So Hashem said to Moshe, Echoiz bekisei kvoidi, hold on to my heavenly throne. V'hachzer lahem tshuva, and give them an answer. We have a mistake. We call the kisei hakavod the heavenly throne. Is that really what it means? What's a kisei hakavod? What does it mean?
The seat of honor.
The seat of honor. Now, I am not a Kabbalist. I know nothing about the kisei hakavod. But there's one thing that I know for sure, without a doubt, and that is that it has something to do with kavod. Would you agree with me on that? Yeah. Okay? The kisei hakavod has something to do with Hashem's kavod. And so when Hashem wanted to show the malachim, you can't mess with man. Man is the one that brings me kavod. He tells Moshe Rabbeinu, Echoiz bekisei kvoidi. Hold on to my kisei hakavod, then you'll be able to give them an answer. The malachim are going up and down the ladder. They go up the ladder, they see engraved on that kisei hakavod. Engraved on that kisei hakavod is the image of Yaakov Avinu. He must be the most incredible malach ever created. And then they go down the ladder, and they see a flesh and blood human being sleeping. Like, 1 second, we must have made a mistake here. Back up the ladder. Yaakov Avinu is engraved on the kisei hakavod. Back down the ladder, he's a sleeping human being. That's not kavod. They wanted to kill him. No, that is kavod. That's how Yaakov winds up on the kisei hakavod. By the way, I asked you if malachim need a ladder. Of course, you made a mistake. You thought it was the malachim's ladder. It wasn't. They weren't going up their own ladder. They don't need a ladder. We have a ladder. You know that we have a ladder, right? Every one of us has a ladder. A ladder that's on the ground, and that the top of the ladder is higher than we could imagine. Because that's our journey, because we're going to make it there. Because we have a plan. We're not sitting around. And the malachim were going up and down the ladder of Yaakov Avinu. In fact, the Medrash, there's one pshat in the Medrash that they were going up and down Yaakov Avinu, what the Medrash says. But the idea is that they were looking at how a human being grows to serve Hashem, and sometimes you fall down a few rungs, you have to grab hold, you try to climb again, and then you think that maybe you could jump 10 rungs up. You ever tried to do that? And that's a big mistake, and then you realize it doesn't work out so well. You sit down with your Rebbe, he's like, let's do one rung at a time. You do one, then the next one, then the next one. They were Oilim v'Yardim, but they were going up and down Yaakov's ladder. And they saw that the bottom is a sleeping human being, but the top is his image engraved on the Kisei HaKavod. That's what was going on when he was fighting the Malach of Esav. The Malach of Esav, that represents all of our struggles. And when we fight the Malach of Esav, all of us have our fight with the Malach of Esav, all the time. The dust comes up. We bring up the dust, all the smallness in us, all the difficulties, all the struggles, ma'avakim, the struggles. They come up. But where do those struggles go? Helu avak ad kisei hakavod. It goes up to the kisei hakavod. That kisei hakavod that has Yaakov Avinu's image on it. That kisei hakavod that Moshe Rabbeinu held on to. It goes up to the kisei hakavod. That's how Yaakov wins, and that's how we win. Because what the Malachim don't understand is that we aren't who we are, even though we struggle. That's a big mistake. If somebody tells you, I'm a good person, even though I have my struggles, I'm a good person. Okay, your Rabbein would never let you get away with saying a sentence like that. They will stop you, and they will say, no, what makes you a special person is not despite the fact that you have struggles. What makes you a special person is the fact that you have struggles. And you're still here, and you're showing up, and you understand the secret of that ladder. That is the greatness of man. That's the greatness of what we're doing in our lives, trying, each one of us, with our own personal ladder, to climb rung by rung. I want to make a suggestion to end off. I don't think I've ever said over before, but I'm wondering about this. There's a Gemara that says that when they used to learn Torah with their Rabbeim in Bavel in the times of the Gemara, it says that when Shir was over, there was a cloud of dust that went up. The Gemara talks about how far away they... Where was the Gemara? Is it Megillah? I thought maybe Nedarim. I don't know. We have to find it. But there's a Gemara that says that there was a cloud. The Gemara talks about how far away you were able to see the cloud of dust. When the yeshiva, they used to sit on the floor around their Rebbe. We have it good, Enjoy your chairs. They used to sit on the floor around their Rebbe. The Rebbe was sitting on some cushions on the middle, and they would sit in very specialized rows. The stronger the Talmud was, the more years he spent there. The Shana Gimel guys were in the front. It was that kind of thing. And when the Rebbe finished, everyone stood up, and it kicked up a cloud of smoke that could be seen, a cloud of dust that could be seen for miles. And I wonder if it's not referencing He'elu Avak Ad Kisei HaKavod, that when those guys sat there and they overcame what they need to overcome, and they learned with their Rebbe, and they grew, and that when they were getting up from Shir, it was after climbing another rung in that ladder, that it was a representative of their struggle, and how their struggle has an aliyah Ad Kisei HaKavod, goes up to the Kisei HaKavod. It's so nice to spend time with you. And my bracha that I'm just going to end with, and literally just came off the boat, basically. But my bracha to you is that you should have the schus to be able to really get to know your ladder. Everyone's ladder is different. Get to know your ladder. Be able to feel the feel of your ladder and to understand yourself well enough to understand how to go from rung to rung to rung to rung. The only thing that could stop you in life from going higher and higher and higher is the limitations of your own imagination. Just recognize there's no rung that you're going to reach a point, you're going to be like, okay, I'm done. There's no such a thing. Kol zman she'haneshama b'kirbi. As long as I have a neshama, there's another rung to climb. Yashikayach.